Hey people, what's up? So tonight's video, the Q&A, or sorry, the question is, why are my fat loss results so slow? So this is a question I had come in yesterday, and there are a few things that we need to consider. If we're trying to lose weight, we feel like we're doing all the things. I've got my diet right. I'm starting to exercise now, and I feel like I'm recovering better and so on. I'm doing all the things I think I need to do to lose weight, but my results feel like they're a bit too slow. Now, in my experience, there are three main reasons why this tends to be the case. Now, the first one, which is, I guess, the most extreme, is the fact that, well, perhaps right now you are not healthy enough to lose weight. Now, I have spoken about this in previous videos, so I'll keep it fairly brief. But sometimes what can happen, because our body doesn't really care about our aesthetics, what it cares about is our survival. So because of that, if our health has drifted too far away from optimal or good, then that is the priority. Like the body's survival is the priority. Our nervous system, etc., is set up purely to keep us alive. So now we come along and we intervene, whether with healthy food and nutrition and exercise and so on, or with extreme diets. We come and we intervene, and our goal is to lose weight. But sometimes the body is not ready to do that yet. Instead, what it needs to do is heal first before it can reveal the body that you want. So sometimes what happens is we go through this period that tends to last for the average person around 6 to 8 weeks, where we feel like I'm doing all the stuff, but I don't seem to be losing weight. What the heck's going on? And it's because during that time period, the body is healing. It's trying to regain a point of what we call homeostasis or balance, so that things are now operating as they should, and the body can now maintain its optimal without too much stress and strain. Now, when that stress and strain is reduced, well, now the body can dedicate some of its resources to the fat loss that we want. Because, as I say, when we're in that state where health is not optimal, say, for example, we might have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or something like that, some sort of metabolic condition, sometimes that will prevent us being able to lose weight. So that could be the first reason. Now, if that's not the case, then it tends to be one of two other things. Now, the first one is perhaps you are doing all the right things, as in you've changed your diet, which is great, and your diet is way better, and it is probably a good diet for what you want to achieve. Maybe now you're exercising too, and again, it's good for what you want to achieve. I want to burn fat and I want to lose weight. That's great. But maybe you're not yet doing it at the level required to get the result that you want. So sometimes it's just a case of, well, I've started this new thing. I'm trying these new tweaks and new ways of living, but I'm just not yet doing them at the level that's required for my body to actually give me the result that I want. So sometimes it's a case of, well, keep doing what you're doing, but just do it harder. And sometimes that can be tricky because we're sort of so ingrained in our previous lifestyle that even the small changes we may have made so far sometimes feel quite challenging. They feel quite difficult. So now it's like, oh my God, I've got to go even harder at this thing. That can sometimes be a challenge, and it feels like it may become overwhelming. But we just have to consider that, well, how badly do I want this result? Because if I want the result bad enough, well, then I will likely be willing to push myself a little bit harder, go a bit harder with the nutrition, clean that up even more, make sure that my proteins are right, my carbs and so on, get those ratios correct so that I'm on the right path, and then make sure that the exercise that I'm doing is at a high enough level of stimulus to actually provoke my body into change. Because it's one thing to do some movement, but if it's not of a great enough stimulus, the body won't have that sense of, oh, I need to change now. I need to adapt because I'm being stressed or pushed in a given direction. So therefore, I need to make those adaptations. So that's the next thing. So we've got the fact that the body is maybe not healthy enough. So we just need time for the body to heal. Then it can begin to reveal. Or it could be, well, everything I'm doing is right, but I'm just not doing it enough or at the level required to get the result that I want. And then the third thing is simply that, well, what you're doing isn't relevant to the result that you want. So sometimes what we find is, yes, you've changed your diet. Yes, you're now exercising and so on. You might be doing things that should or you would expect to lead to fat loss or weight loss, but maybe they aren't the ones that are right for you. So, oh, I've changed my diet. Well, maybe you haven't changed it to a good enough diet to get the result that you want. So now rather than, oh, it is a good diet, but it's not at the level needed, perhaps it's just not the right diet for you. Maybe you've gone down the paleo route or the vegan route or vegetarian or McDougall or carnivore, or it doesn't matter what it is. Perhaps you've picked a version of diet that isn't optimal for you. Now, the truth is, most of the time, we don't need any of these extremes. We just need to improve what we're doing. But at the same time, sometimes what we're doing, maybe those improvements aren't the ones that your physiology needs right now. So perhaps it's where it's a time where, oh, I need to either research this a bit further, find out what could be relevant to me, or maybe I'll get some help, some guidance, some outside input from somebody in the know, a coach of some sort or an expert of some sort, who could maybe guide you into what would be a better option than what you've currently chosen. Same with the exercise. It might be a case of, oh, I've gone into the gym now, or I'm training at home. It doesn't matter where it is, but it could be that the type of exercise you're doing, again, isn't optimal for the outcome that you want. For example, on an extreme sense, we could be saying, oh, well, I want to get ready for a marathon, so I'm going to go into the gym and lift heavy weights and do powerlifting. Now, of course, it's not to say you can't lift heavy weights when training for a marathon, but training for powerlifting doesn't produce the result of a marathon runner. So we need to make sure there's relevance there. So again, if I go into the gym and I train for bodybuilding with the intention to gain muscle and weight, well, then I might be stepping on the scale and not losing anything, because I'm training with a style of training that's designed to help me gain weight, not necessarily lose it. And then, of course, when we combine that with the diet and then our recovery and so on, if we're not doing the correct protocols for the particular result that we want, then unfortunately we won't get the result. So sometimes we need to just sort of take a step back and go, okay, well, I'm putting in this effort, but is it the specific effort that I need to put in for the result that I want? And then if it's not, of course, once we realize that, we maybe need to tweak things, change them up in the same way that we maybe would if we find that we're doing stuff, but not to a high enough degree. We would just need to tweak it and adapt it to the point where it starts getting us results. So hope that helps people. If you have any questions on this, or you want me to dig deeper into anything, or if you want me to actually just sit down with you for 10 minutes, have a chat, look at what you're currently doing and look for anywhere that you could maybe improve or tweak things to get yourself some results that are obviously much quicker and going to be longer lasting, drop me a comment below or reach out to me in the DMs, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, people, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Take it easy.